Have you ever noticed how the world feels different before most people wake up? How time seems softer, less demanding, as if it is waiting rather than chasing you. In those early hours, the air feels lighter, and even familiar places appear calmer, almost as if they are resting. Many people pass through life without ever touching those quiet moments, not because they do not want to, but because they feel too tired, too busy, or unsure of what they would even do with that silence. Waking early can feel uncomfortable when days already feel full. Still, there is something about the morning that invites reflection, especially for those who feel their days slipping by without space to breathe. There was an ordinary woman named Claire who lived a life that felt full but strangely empty at the same time. From the outside, her days appeared productive and organized. She woke up to alarms, checked messages before her feet touched the floor, and moved quickly through routines that left little room for pause. Her schedule was filled with responsibilities, conversations, and small tasks that never seemed to end. By evening, she often felt drained, as if she had given everything away and kept nothing for herself. She did not feel unhappy in a dramatic way. Instead, she felt distant from her own thoughts, like someone who had been rushing for so long that stillness felt unfamiliar. Claire told herself this was just how adult life worked. Everyone was busy. Everyone was tired. Feeling overwhelmed seemed like the price of keeping up. At night, her body was exhausted, but her mind stayed restless. Thoughts drifted in and out as she replayed conversations, worried about things that had not happened yet, and made quiet promises to slow down someday. When morning came, the cycle began again, and those promises were buried under another full day. One night, after broken sleep, Claire woke before her alarm. The room was dark and quiet, the kind of quiet that felt rare. She lay still for a moment, listening to the soft hum of the world outside. There was no pressure to move, no message demanding her attention. Without planning to, she walked into the kitchen. The air felt cool, and the house seemed to breathe differently. She made a warm drink and sat near the window, watching the sky shift from deep blue to soft gray. She did not plan to do anything important. There was no goal, no intention to fix her life. She simply sat there, holding the warmth of the cup, watching the light arrive. The world did not ask anything of her. For the first time in a long while, she felt present without needing to be productive. The quiet did not demand answers. It simply allowed her to exist. That morning passed gently. When the day began, Claire noticed something felt different. The familiar rush was still there, but it felt less sharp. Her thoughts were clearer, less tangled. By evening, she was tired again, but it was a softer tiredness, without the same weight of frustration. The next day, she woke early again. This time, it was not accidental. She repeated the quiet routine, watching the light change. Then again the day after that. Not perfectly, and not every morning, but often enough to become a small pattern. She read a few pages of a book she had never finished. She wrote thoughts she had never named. Sometimes she did nothing at all, letting her mind settle. These moments did not change her life in obvious ways. Nothing dramatic happened. But something inside her softened. The mornings became a space where she did not have to perform or respond. They belonged only to her, and that alone made them valuable. She began to notice how rarely she allowed herself that permission during the rest of the day. As weeks passed, subtle shifts appeared. She felt less hurried, even when things went wrong. Small frustrations did not linger as long. When plans changed or someone interrupted her, she responded with more patience. The mornings gave her a place to return to herself before the world began asking things of her. She noticed changes in small details. She listened more carefully. She paused before reacting. The early mornings seemed to stretch time, not by adding hours, but by giving her a sense of presence she had been missing. Even when the day grew noisy, something from the quiet stayed with her. There were mornings she did not wake early. She slept through her alarm and felt disappointed. But instead of judging herself, she learned to forgive those moments. The mornings were not a test. They were an invitation. Some days she accepted it. Other days she did not. And that was enough. Over time, Claire realized what she valued most was not the silence itself, but the honesty it allowed. Without distractions, her thoughts surfaced naturally. Feelings she had ignored returned without pressure. She understood that what had been draining her was not just busyness, but the absence of space to listen to herself. One morning, watching the sky brighten, Claire felt a calm that surprised her. Her life had not changed. Her responsibilities were still waiting. But she felt grounded in a way she had not before. The quiet had not given her answers. It had given her clarity. As the habit continued, the mornings shaped her choices in subtle ways. She said no more often, not out of defiance, but understanding her limits. Evenings felt lighter because she no longer carried all her thoughts into the night. She had already met herself in the morning. Others noticed small changes. They said she seemed calmer, more present. When asked what she had changed, she struggled to explain. There was nothing impressive to point to, just quiet time that slowly altered how she moved through the world. The early mornings became a quiet promise she made to herself. Not a rule or a challenge, but a gentle habit rooted in care. Some days she slept in and forgave herself. Other days she rose and welcomed the stillness. Over time, those moments added up. From the outside, her life looked the same. But inside, something had shifted. She felt more grounded, more patient, more aware of what mattered. The mornings did not solve her problems, but they gave her the calm to face them with a clearer mind. She learned that stillness was not the absence of movement, but the presence of awareness. Slowing down did not mean falling behind. It meant choosing where to place her energy. She did not need to earn rest or clarity. She only needed to allow them. As seasons changed, the mornings changed with them. Cold or warm, dark or bright, each one felt like a small beginning. Consistency did not mean perfection. It meant returning when she could. The quiet power of the early morning did not lie in productivity or discipline. It lived in presence, in the reminder that life is happening now, not someday when things slow down. Even in a busy life, there is room for calm. And perhaps that is the quiet power of the early morning. Not that it promises success or answers, but that it offers a steady place to begin again. A place to meet yourself without judgment. And sometimes that calm is enough to change everything.